Hello, welcome again to the Political Empire. I'm John Bender, politics editor for the Press Enterprise and PE.com. Let's get right to our headline. Police proposal. A San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department proposal to take over policing in the city of San Bernardino would reduce the size of the force by 39 employees, but cost about roughly the same or more. The city had requested the proposal in November to look for potential cost savings as it deals with bankruptcy. The total sheriff's proposal, minus startup costs, stands at $61.8 million. An August budget stated that the current fiscal year budget for the police department is $62.2 million, which includes overtime, fuel, and vehicle expenses. However, City Attorney Jim Pinman said budget cuts have reduced the budget to $54 million. San Bernardino Mayor Pat Morris said he is withholding judgment until Police Chief Robert Handy prepares his own analysis of the proposal. Now let's talk politics. We've got Jim Miller, Sacramento Bureau reporter, on the phone. Jim, I understand the crime victim advocates are trying to figure out what to do with $30 million that the state somehow found following an audit involving state park finances. Tell me what's going on.
So as you may recall, last summer the Sacramento Bee reported that the State Parks Department had somehow squirreled away about what was then thought to be about $54 million in special fund money. So that triggered an audit by the State Department of Finance of other special funds. And so that survey concluded that there was no other instances of people trying to hide money, but in the case of the Victims Restitution Fund, there was some inaccurate accounting. Some money that was coming in was mistakenly labeled as going out, or might have been vice versa. But in any event, the fund has about $30 million more than had been thought last summer.
What are the options for this money?
Well, and those have been under discussion for the last several weeks, and it seems like some ideas are beginning to gel. One thing the money could be spent on is to, buy back some of the cuts that have happened. In particular, some cuts that happened early last year to reimbursement rates and some reductions in what the state would spend for funeral expenses for victims of crime and their families. But what seems to be the more and more looking like it's going to be the consensus is that the money will be kept in reserve as a way to offset potential drops in revenue. And then if things go well for the next couple of years, then maybe they could talk about buying back some of the reductions that they approved last year.
So is that going to make victim rights advocates happy, or wouldn't people say it's a victims compensation fund, just distribute the money to crime victims?
I think there are some victims advocates who would like to see that happen. But this is a fund that over the years has had some real problems staying solvent. It's gone up, it's gone down. It's been a place that lawmakers have borrowed from. And so I think the potential to make this fund more stable than it's been is something that is proving to be just something that people think is a good idea. And so I think that is what will ultimately be done, is that the money will be put into reserves.
All right, they found $30 million. I'd like to find $300 in my account. For the Press Enterprise and PE.com, I'm politics editor John Bender. Keep tuning in.